Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Matt McGachy, the vocalist of Cryptopsy and the host of the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast, where I sit down with fellow metal musicians, talk all about their lives and music while sharing killer craft beers. If you've ever wanted to sneak backstage and share a beer with one of your favorite musicians, well, Vox and Hops is the podcast for you. This week on the podcast, I dropped an amazing episode with Mike Barino from Audio Technica Canada. There's this episode and over 430 other ones to help you enjoy life, metal, and craft beer. So what are you waiting for? It's time to become a Vox and Hops head. Cheers!
It's Throwback Thursday.
Hey everyone, it's Throwback Thursday once again here at DeMakes a podcast. And in honor of the Halloween season, we're going to send you back a few years to when our guest was Mummy Cass of Here Come The Mummies. This episode was so much fun, and whether you're listening to it now for the first time or listening to it again, I hope you enjoy it. And don't forget, we have a giant back catalog of episodes of DeMakes a podcast, and all of these episodes are evergreen. The stories behind the songs stay the same, even as time goes on. So don't be afraid to peruse through and send an episode to a friend who you think might like it, or just tune in for yourself to an episode you loved or haven't heard yet. But right now, we're going to get to the episode at hand from October 11th of 2021. This is episode 72. Mummy Cass discusses Here Come The Mummies, Pants.
Hey ghouls and goblins, do we have a fun one for you? Today's guest is Mummy Cass, guitarist and vocalist for the Nashville, Tennessee funk rock party band Here Come The Mummies. We take a deep dive into their fan favorite song Pants, taken from the 2008 album Single Entendre. Mummy Cass enlightened me to not only their songwriting process, but also their recording process. The band, made up of well-known studio musicians and Grammy Award-winning producers and mixers, none of whose true identities are known, recorded this particular track live in the studio. He talked of how the initial demo and writing of the song was pretty much what ended up as the final version, except for the horn solos, which were charted out before recording. I mentioned how the band throws off the ultimate party vibe, and Mummy Cass couldn't have agreed more. That's what this band strives to do. Have fun, and more importantly, bring that fun to their live audiences. And we talk about how the Bob and Tom Show introduced Here Come The Mummies to millions of fans. For all this and much more, grab a bottle of your favorite potion, sit back, and enjoy this spooktacular episode.
Hey, hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a podcast. Hey, hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a podcast. Hey, hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a podcast. Hey, hey, have you heard? Chris DeMakes a podcast.
All right, Mummy Cass, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good, baby. How are you feeling?
I am feeling fantastic because I am talking to you. What a crazy, interesting band. I don't know if you know much about me, but I've been the guitarist and singer for a band called Less Than Jake for going on 30 years now, and I have certainly heard of your band over the years, but I haven't gotten to know more about you really until I started diving in for this episode, because your band is shrouded in mystery. That's your whole thing. And I tried my damnedest, and with the internet these days and everything at your fingertips, I figured that, you know what, I'm going to be able to find out who's in this band, and you can't. I don't know how, for being a band for 20 years, you've kept it under wraps, but congratulations. So Mummy Cass, the guitarist and vocalist for Here Come The Mummies.
Man, there's rumors about who we are. I mean, someone thought that Justin Timberlake was in the band, and somebody said a Flaming Lips guy and a guy from Journey were in the band, and I can assure you with 100% honesty and truth that we are mummified people from 4,000 years ago.
And I want to let my listeners know that I know I've mentioned this on the show before, but I conduct these my podcast through Zoom just so we can see each other. And the show is audio only, but for the listeners, if you're not familiar with Here Come The Mummies, go take a look at them. And I want to let you know that Mummy Cass is in full regalia right now, like he just walked out of the crypt.
Yeah,
this is great.
I can't do anything about this, but lucky for you, I'm looking good. And I mean, it might be hard for you to concentrate because I'm such a good looking devil, man. Let me tell you.
No, I love a band. I've built a career on shtick. I love a band with shtick, but I also love a band with shtick and substance. And man, you guys are players. I mean, each one of you, the band is just on fire. I encourage all my listeners, if you don't know the band, check them out. Check out the live videos. I was just watching you guys from a couple years ago at a wonderful theater I played before called the Blue Note in Columbia, Missouri. And man, it's just watching this audience for an underground band. You just have this cult following. Just the women are just dancing and shaking. The whole audience is screaming as loud as they can. And if you don't mind, I'd like to read real quick. I usually don't do this, but again, I tried my best, and I go through a lot of preparation for my episodes. And to be quite honest with you, it was kind of hard to get info on you, because that's what you're about is this mystery. But from the website, it says, cursed after deflowering a great pharaoh's daughter or daughters, Here Come the Mummies have been delivering their brand of terrifying funk from beyond the grave since the year 2000 AD. While their lyrics leave little to the imagination, their raps have been the topic of much speculation. Some say they are reincarnated Grammy-winning studio musicians. Theories abound. Regardless, Here Come the Mummies' mysterious personas, cunning songcraft, and unrelenting live show will bend your brain and melt your face. Maybe that's why the ladies and some dudes can't stop losing their minds over these mayhem-inducing mavens of mirth. And I went on to do a little aside here. You may want to add this to your bio. Such hits as She Loves Dick, Attack of the Wiener Man, and Booty. And of course, this fine gem that we'll be talking about today, which is Pants, which is awesome.
That bio was written by a guy named Alex Alliteration, man. It's true, man. He got a lot of use of the M's in there.
Yeah. Well, the Pants is taken from your 2008 album, which I love this title. The 2008 album Single Entendre. And so set this particular tune up for me, Mummy Cass, if you can. Where you were when you wrote it, and what was the inspiration?
All right. Well, I got the story, as I remember it, a long time ago, a guy kind of approached the band and said, I think this thing should be on Broadway, and wanted some kind of cross between Stomp, Blue Man Group, and The Lion King, for all I know. And he said, can you guys go try to write something? So a bunch of us got together and said, man, we're musicians. We can't do the musical stuff we can't write a Broadway musical. So I think it was Eddie Mummy came up with the title. He wanted to, and even the chorus, he said, I want to write a song about, coming in my pants, going on a date. So a couple of us kind of got the ideas formulated, and Eddie Mummy and myself sort of finished it off. And we tried to make a picture of what this first date would be. Like if Bob Saget was going on a date with Vanna White, and he had to drive his Nissan Juke to pick her up, And so, everyone's a little nervous, and I would think that Bob Saget would be nervous going to see Vanna White on a date.
I would think so.
And anyway, and then we took some liberties to make sure the title fit with the date, story. It's fairly simple, but you're right, man. As Freud said, if it's not one thing, it's your mother.
I love it. So, can you answer me this? Does all the band live in one spot, or you kind of spread apart? And how do you write if you're spread apart? Do you send demos, MP3s to each other? You have your own studios?
Well, we do have our own studios, but we do live in one underground crypt.
Okay.
But it's huge. I mean, you could walk a mile underground and maybe go to KW Tut's room, and he's got a little studio there. But KW Tut is a very, I should say, most people have heard KW Tut's mixes out there on the radio.
Gotcha. Well, again, yes, there is definitely some good intel that you guys are Grammy-winning studio musicians, and that have, as you just said, mixed some songs that we've all heard on the radio, and I'm sure that's true. I'm looking here. Is there currently 11 people still in the band?
Well, we usually tour with an 8-piece band on stage, but there's been so many mummies over the years. Like a lot of them will sometimes go get a gig somewhere with somebody famous, or be in the studio somewhere. But we have been really lucky to end up with a bunch of really good guys that are willing to show up. So yeah, we've got like 9 members on stage now. We just added Dr. Yo, he was a substitute horn player for a while, but now he's kind of permanently, because he sings great, and he's been picking up some of my slack over the years. But we have had over 70 mummies.
That is really cool. Well, again, you've been a band now for 21 years, so it's been some time. I could see you, especially with your work schedules, if you're all so busy and doing different projects, like, hey, I can't go on the road right now. I got to mix this record. So you take another mummy out with you.
Yeah, a lot of times the pole will be a substitute for KW Tut. They're both bass players. And like the horn section, it's mainly the same guys, probably for the last 15 years. But there'll be some subs that come and go, and a few of them have gotten some pretty good gigs that we're not allowed to talk about. But yeah, they're out. You see them on, Jimmy Fallon sometimes.
Well, again, I certainly wouldn't have given it away had I found out. I would have kept your mystery about you. But I dug and I was telling our producer Chris before the show, I know that. For instance, you're in Columbia, Missouri at the Blue Note. You played there. You guys have to have friends that come out to the show. How the friends come back, unless you just have a no friend policy. You don't have anybody backstage. Nobody knows. You told your wives not to tell their girlfriends, not to tell anybody, because I don't know how in this day and age with the internet, you've kept this under wraps. Kudos to you guys. It's incredible.
We make sure our wives don't talk to our girlfriends. No, I'm kidding. No.
That's a good start. I
think only our wives know. Our friends don't even know. We just have a mysterious session that we have to do this weekend.
It's so cool because there's not many bands that could pull this off. I love your name. Mummy Cass is hilarious. Eddie Mummy kills me. And on trumpet and deafening squeals, we have the High Priest of Death.
Yeah, H-Pod. We just shortened his name to H-Pod.
H-Pod. Well, the track we're about to dive into is called Pants. The song is 3 minutes and 25 seconds long. And, even in your bio, and I've seen a couple other things written online that you guys, and there certainly are funk elements, there's rock and roll elements to you, but this particular track when it just starts out, it just has to me like a Latin feel to it. Immediately when I heard this song, I loved it. You just come on, it makes you want to dance. It makes you happy, and that's really cool.
Well, man, it's funny that we got a couple Latin guys and a couple guys that are, that play Latin. They're not Latin guys, but they play Latin. So there's definitely an influence in there. But when we were writing this song, we were discussing, one guy had to bring up a bunch of songs that he hated, and he did not like Smoke on the Water. So that horn riff is a light homage to the guitar riff on Smoke on the Water.
I can hear it now. The bump, 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 bump.
but it's different enough, but it's funny that it comes out Latin because it was played by the guy who hates Smoke on the Water, and he's a Latin trumpet player.
That is. I never would have put two and two together with that, but now I can hear it. That's crazy. Yeah, but like I said, you're such the perfect band in the sense that people don't have to know your songs. You first of all, just they see these mummies come out on stage. Your stage show, you got the fire machines on stage, and you come out and you just the whole. It's a spectacle, but the songs are just so well crafted. And like I said, you guys are monster players. There's no fat on the bone here. I mean, you guys are killer. As I said, the track is 3 minutes and 25 seconds long. There's a 16-second intro. This has, like I said, this like Latin feel. The whole band is in right off the top. Sax and the trumpets. There's a B3 organ there. It's just catchy as hell. And then we drop into the first verse, which is 3 lines. And I'm gonna read these lyrics. I'm gonna have you set it up for me, Mummy Cass. Monday, Tuesday, hump day is halfway. Stick it in the pig, pop it in the bank. Saturday is coming quicker than you think.
Oh man, it's simple. It sounds a little nasty, but it's not, baby. It's counting down the days to your first date with Vanna White. And when it's Wednesday and you got to take your money, you put it in the piggy bank, and then you take it to the bank. and you can save your money because Vanna White's not gonna, she's not gonna walk like McDonald's drive-through. You know what I'm saying?
No, she's a little more high end than that, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be down to the letter with that girl.
I love right after the first line, Monday, Tuesday, hump day is halfway. There's these two quick snare rolls, and then the band comes to a complete stop. Then there's this little piano lick that happens before the whole band jumps back in for the other two lines.
Monday, Tuesday, hump day is halfway. Sticking in the big, popping in the bank. Saturday's coming quicker than you think. 48 to
It's just classy, and it's just, you can tell that you guys are players. Jumping into the pre-chorus, it's still full band, but it goes to like this, like bass drum buildup, and the lyric is 48 to rendezvous. I'm gonna blow a wad on you. Oh, oh, oh. And
48 to rendezvous. I'm gonna blow a wad on you. Oh, oh, oh.
set these lyrics up for you, then I have some questions about the track.
All right. Well, obviously there's 2 days until the rendezvous, and the WAD, which I guess we've always had this joke about having to go to songwriter court and explain ourselves, because I think some people might have taken these lyrics the wrong way. But
yes,
the WAD that we might be talking about in this song is the wad of cash.
Yes, yeah, I'm gonna blow my wad of cash on you.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, oh. I know that. Again, I researched it, and this is where I would start asking about the writing of the song in terms of like the producer. I'm assuming you can't tell me who produced it, but can you tell me if somebody in the band produced the track? Did you guys all produce it?
Yeah, I mean, it's all in-house produced by the guys in the band.
Okay.
A lot of times, like, I think, Eddie Mummy and myself will write most of the songs, but Spaz has written a ton of songs. We've been writing with KW, Tut, and Midnight Mummy, who's kind of come on the scene in the last 5 years, really strong with the songwriting stuff. And then we'll go to kind of demo land, and we'll take it up and kind of do a quick version of the song. And sometimes we'll record it as a full band with the horns and everything at the same time. But a lot of times it's the rhythm section. When we record with Midnight Mummy, he's great because he's a horn player. So we can kind of have him play a rough sketch of what we think the horns are going to be. So the producing is a lot of times in the demo stages with Eddie Mummy and myself. Eddie's playing drums, I'm doing guitars and vocals most of the time. And then like if we go into rhythm section land, it's kind of I'm going to call it a democracy, because I mean we do listen to everybody's ideas, and again, like that piano roll the piano thing you were talking about.
Yeah.
Spaz is brilliant with musical hooks. And sometimes he plays too many, but he's always he comes up with so many things. Like you gotta make sure you get it in the song. So we'll add a couple bars so we can get that brilliant piano thing in there.
He's a ripper, and I guess up to this point, I'll ask you right now: do you remember the evolution of the song, the initial demo that maybe you or Eddie Mummy had come to the band with? Was this pretty much the lyric and pretty much the arrangement up to this point?
Yeah, I think the arrangement and the lyrics were all the way they are. But if I remember, I think we cut this thing totally in the studio with everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was a long time ago that we did this song, but. Yeah, it's probably almost 20 years ago.
And I can believe that, because I could not believe, again, you could just tell that you guys, you're studio musicians. You're incredible. For those of you who haven't seen it, check out, type in the Mummies Pants on the Bob and Tom show. There's over 2.8 million views of the song on there, and seeing you play that song live, you played it on their show a couple times live, just seeing it on there and just the musicianship, it sounds like the studio recording. So it's not surprising to me that you cut this live off the floor.
Man, yeah, and we got ourselves a heck of a good live engineer, and he's mixed a few of our live videos and live music that we put out. But he knows what he's doing, man. And we got in-ears. We put the in-ears in, and we're listening to some nice sounding tones from everybody every night. It feels good to be on stage, especially with the current group of guys we got.
For a bunch of guys that looks dead, you actually feel alive. I that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, man. Some nights are better than others, like as you know, but most of the time, it almost doesn't matter where we're playing, and we can feel the energy of the crowd. And I got to say, the only people that are weirder or a stranger in that whole building is the guys in the band.
Well, what I loved about watching the Bob and Tom show is just seeing the Bob and Tom and their staff just crack up when you get to certain lyrics, because it's just, like I said, it's fun. There's times when there are lyrics or there's things that are crass, and sometimes crass can be funny, but sometimes it's just too over the top, and nothing really offends me. I like a dirty joke or a dirty song, but there's some class, there's some finesse going on here. The line, "I'm gonna blow a wad on you." Yeah, of course it's about money. It's not about what your dirty mind is portraying, right?
And yeah, man, it's funny. I think the Bob and Tom guys really kind of responded to that stuff pretty quick. They got their own music, and they make some pretty clever tunes that kind of goes along the we'll call it the double entendre route, but without the Bob and Tom guys, they made this band take off. I mean, without them, we wouldn't have gotten the audiences that we got. And
I believe that really helped you. Like I said, the views that you had on there eclipse a lot of the other stuff that you have online. So I could really tell. And again, when I watched your live performances of you out at venues, this isn't just a couple people in the front row, the whole audience. I call it that cult following. I'm lucky enough. My band has that. We're not superstars. We're not on the radio, but the people that come to see us play, the whole building knows who we are. And that's a beautiful feeling. Before we go any further, just wanted to say that, again, for as much as you guys have going on outside of the band, each one of you being accomplished producers, studio musicians, etc., you guys have released 10 studio albums, 4 EPs, and 4 live albums over the years. That's an incredible amount of material, very prolific for being so busy outside of the band.
Yeah, man. We're always working on it, and it's kind of the dream. When we get together, it seems like there's no shortages of slightly off-colored jokes, and there's always a title in there. And I was getting a signal from one of my behind-the-scenes guys, like, we wrote a song about everlasting love called "Kinda Lingers," and we got kicked off at WGN in Chicago for playing it. I think they mistook the words "kinda lingers" for something else, but yeah. And the Bob and Tom guys, those guys got it right away.
Sometimes you have to stick to who you are. That's their problem if they didn't get it. Those people in Chicago.
If it's too dirty for you, then maybe shame on you. What are you thinking about, man?
Yeah. What skeletons are in your closet?
Hey everybody, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with our Throwback Thursday episode with Mummy Cass after a few words from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Pete's. Few things start your day better than a good coffee. That's why Pete's hand roasts their coffee from a specific selection of high-quality beans. And they don't just put those beans into anyone's hands. Pete's trains their roasters for 10,000 hours so they can master the roast that gives you the most. Pete's Coffee. Coffee for coffee people. Find Pete's online or at your local retailer.
And now, back to our Throwback Thursday episode with Mummy Cass.
Well, at the 37-second mark, pretty quick, we're in the first chorus. And I'm going to recite these lyrics, and then I'll have you talk about these, and I'll go into some other things I want to discuss with the arrangement. I'm coming in my pants, my shirt. It's my best suit, baby. Gonna pick your flower. Gonna be there in an hour. Coming in my pants, shined shoes, in my necktie, honey. I'm so excited, I hope that I don't come too soon. And on the word soon, you hold it out. Soon
I'm coming in my pants, my shirt, and my best suit, baby. Gonna pick your flower, gonna be there in an hour. Coming in my pants, shine shoes, and my necktie, honey. I'm so excited, I hope that I don't want to.
In my notes here, I wrote that kind of sounds like you've vocally hit your climax.
Yeah, man, you don't want to do premature datulation. You don't want to show up too early for your date. You don't want to be late either. You don't want Vanna getting upset. But as long as you get there within like 3 minutes, but if you show up at like an hour early and the sun's still shining, you don't want to be there, baby.
It's a bummer. But yeah, so you're saying I'm coming in my pants. You got these great pants, my shirt, your best suit.
You got to dress up for your first date. You want to dress to impress.
And after that vocal climax, that high note of soon, like I said, the band stops completely. And then when it comes back in, it's another full re-intro of the top of the song. And by now, again, the song is so catchy and so danceable that and I loved it. When this re-intro part came on in the live video I watched from Missouri, just now now they're really dancing. Now you got them. You had them from the get-go, but now they're really moving. It's really cool.
You want to make sure that people can sing the chorus by the second time it comes around, hopefully.
Yeah, that's the idea, right?
Yeah, that's the goal, man. This should be music you can dig if you've got, ADD, you know what I'm saying?
Well, no, and I know I've brought this up a couple times now, but I think there's something important to what I said earlier, and I'll say it again, is I don't mean simplistic at all by the musicianship, but there's something a little simplistic here, that the lyrics are kind of face value, that you, like you said, you remember them after the first chorus, and you can sing the hook, and the music is just so catchy that you don't have to know the band to love it. And the way you guys execute it, especially with all your outfits and everything, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, we try for that, but anytime we feel we're falling short, we get our light guy to shoot some lasers and.
Which your light guy is on point, man. He had some great. The lights went great with this song. The in the first verse that the snare does. I was talking about in that first line. The lights go with it perfect. So kudos to him. After this full reintro, we're into verse number 2, and this is cool because I'll get into the lyrics in a second. But after the first line here, it's the same snare roll again. But after the snare roll, there's not silence. There's like this cool hi-hat kick tom fill that happens. And then we're into the lyrics. I can't move on. Attention is long gone. Suits all pressed. Wallets in shape. The only thing that's left is a little manscape.
We've been accused of being metrosexuals. We like to keep everything neat and trim.
Yeah, you got to trim your beard up, right, before you go on the date with Vanna.
There's no eyebrow hair, no ear hair hanging out. Got to do the manscaping, baby.
What I love about pre-chorus number 2, which we get into, is we're a day closer now, Mummy Cass. We're not 48 hours out. This lyric is 24 to rendezvous. I'm gonna blow a wad on you. Oh. And on you and on the oh-ohs, there's a harmony. After 24 to rendezvous, that line, this time, there's a really cool, catchy, I can't wait, backing vocal.
24 to rendezvous. I'm gonna blow a wad on you.
Do you recall, was that on the first demo, or is that something in the studio that you just wanted to kind of build the song at this point?
I can't remember if it was on the demo or not, but those could have been the little voices in my head, like the little leprechauns that tell you to eat Cool Whip and burn things. You know what I'm saying? So that's the sound that's happening in my head on the date. I just can't wait, baby.
I love that backing vocal. It adds this sense of like urgency, like this, but an optimistic urgency. I can't wait. Like you're going on that date. It's I love that. And then we're back into the chorus again. We're in chorus number 2. I'm going to read this again, and I want to talk about the the backing vocals on this one when we get into it. Again, the lyric is, I'm coming in my pants, my shirt. It's my best suit, baby. Gonna pick your flower. Gonna be there in an hour. Coming in my pants, shined shoes, in my necktie, honey. I'm so excited, I hope that I don't come too soon. And again, the soon is held out. The band comes to a complete stop while that's ringing out. Catchy as hell. These are the same spots of harmonies that there were in the first chorus. And it's just on the line, best suit, baby. Gonna pick your flower, gonna be there in an hour. Coming in my pants, shine shoes, and my necktie, honey. And there's no harmonies on the last line. Do you remember if that was a studio thing, or when you were rehearsing this as a band, is that where you put I'm always intrigued by harmonies of why they're put in certain places, and it works wonderfully here. But, why wasn't there a harmony on the last line or the first line? Why you put them where you put them?
I think maybe to kind of make some of the things a little different, but I don't remember why that happened or didn't happen. Everybody, the whole rhythm section sings in this band, and a couple of them are really great singers. So there's always some kind of input and whatever feels right at the time. For some reason, I got a feeling that KW Tut had something to do with that. He's, the mixer's involved. He probably wanted to maybe change the energy up or something.
Who has the high tenor voice or even alto voice? There's some high stuff in there. It almost sounded like a woman singing. Is there a woman singing anywhere on this track?
No, there's not. That might have been Uzi Mummy, who had a misfortunate accent with a blender about 5 years ago.
Okay.
But a lot of the high stuff, the high and the low stuff, was sung by Eddie Mummy. He kind of got a pretty good range. But I think this song might have had Uzi Mummy in it.
Okay, yeah, there's something up there. It almost, I don't even know how to describe it. It almost sounded like kind of like a woman gospel singer, that kind of soul type of flair to it. And I was like, is that a woman? So that's really, whoever did that has a really high voice. It's really cool and really stuck out.
Oh, I'm coming in my pants, my shirt is my best suit, baby. Gonna pick your flower, gonna be there in an hour. Coming in my pants, shine shoes, and my necktie, honey. I'm so excited, I hope that I don't go too soon.
After the second chorus, after that stop, we're right into a guitar solo. The horns are playing a killer counter melody to the solo. And then at about the 2-minute mark, for about 5 seconds, the band does this killer descending dun, 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 part that just kind of leads down into the bridge. Talk about this a little bit. Like, I know you said you cut this song off the floor. Was this part, the guitar solo and what the horns are doing, was that improvised, or did you remember spending time on that?
Well, I know that we had planned that out because some of these songs will send the demo to one of the horn players to do a chart, because it's kind of hard to get a section together and play it together. So I've always been a big fan of the horn soli, which for those who don't know, that's kind of the name that nerdy music horn players used for a sort of a solo sectional of horns. If all the horns are playing something together, instead of a solo, they call it a soli. And it's almost so many songs I say, hey man, can we get the horns doing something together here? I've always liked that in some of the Earth, Wind, and Fire stuff.
Yeah.
The Commodores have things like that. Kool and the Gang do.
Cool. I was to say Kool and the Gang. Yeah. Even as back as like as far as the Temptations and some of that stuff.
Yeah.
What's really interesting is, you guys have, I believe at least live, you use 2 trumpets and a saxophone. Is that what's on this track?
I don't remember, but right now when we had a trumpet player and the Flu was playing baritone sax, he right out of the charts. And then we had Mummy Ra playing tenor sax. Now the Flu is switched to an alto sax. So, and there's been a couple times, like back then we had 2 trumpets, a bari and an alto. A bari and a tenor.
The section sounds incredible. And again, not sure if you know about my band. My band has a horn section. I say section, it's 2 people. It's a saxophone and a trombone. So I've been around horns for many years. You guys, the playing on this is exceptional. It is so good. And I love this solo part because what starts out as a guitar solo, halfway through, I was realizing I'm listening to both a guitar solo and a horn solo. They're both kind of coexisting together, which I love that part.
The original idea for this band was to not single anybody out. We didn't want people to, like the lead singer or the soloist or something. So we try to make sure everybody's got, I guess, time to be creative on the records and live. Get your time, do whatever you want, and give us a nod when you're done with your solo.
Well, I gotta say, and again, you've been around. I've certainly heard your name over the years, but there's this mystery that you guys have too that kind of keeps you pushed back a little bit. You're not in the forefront so much, and a lot of that has to do, I'm sure, with all the other stuff you have going in your lives. But not for nothing here. You're my new old favorite band. Does that make sense? You're
all right. That's cool.
I love it. I love everything about the whole thing is great. And I've started diving into some of your other tracks. It's really cool. After this guitar solo, horn solo section, we get into a bridge, which is pretty much like an extended pre-chorus at this point. It's the same chord progression. And I love this part because the lyric is you're still 24 hours out. 24 to rendezvous. And the I can't waits are there again. I can't wait. But there's also an I can't wait growling, sneering vocal, which is panned off to the left, kind of out of time. And now that I'm talking to you, that sounds like you doing that.
24 to rendezvous. I can't wait. I'm gonna blow a wad on you. 24 to rendezvous. I'm gonna blow a wad on you.
Man, it's not me though. That was Java Mummy.
Okay.
Yeah, he left the band, man. I miss him every single day. He was usually the guy that did the interviews, and he did a lot of like I don't know if MC is the right way to do it, but he was we'd have certain parts of the show where he would get the audience going. And when he left, it kind of broke my heart because now the job falls on me.
It kind of reminded me where it's kind of like off time a little bit. It's like this, I can't wait, this growling, like sinister type thing. But it almost like made me kind of harken back to like something like Little Richard would do, his little things that you just kind of put kind of off time to the music. Just like, I just love that part. And then the second line, I'm going to blow a wad on you. And then the I can't waits are there twice with a ow. There's just a quick ow. That kind of sticks out at you.
He was kind of a troglodyte. I don't know if you know that song, but
Big. Her name was Bertha Butt. It's one of the Butt sisters. He didn't care. He looked up, he said, sock it to me, 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 sock it to me.
But he's kind of got that deep funk, like, out of the movie Dolomites or something like that. He was like a lovable evil guy. I don't know how else to put it, but he was naughty. He was a funny dude.
Yeah, it just kind of adds something here because again, you're kind of hearing the basically the pre-chorus, but it's extended. The third line is 24 to rendezvous. I can't wait. And then there's that sneering vocal again of I can't wait. You get on that line.
You did it right with the fist too, man. He used to put his fist up just like that.
I know the listeners can't see it, but Mummy saw me put my fist up when I said that. I can't wait. I'm going to blow a wad on you and on the OOOs that's set up for the chorus. There's harmonies on those parts. And during this whole thing, it's like breakdown drum parts with lots of cool fills and energy. So again, it harkens back to the pre-chorus, but it gives it a different feel here.
Yeah, I think Eddie Mummy might have been channeling Keith Moon on that, or Animal from the Muppet Show.
That is the perfect comparison. Animal and Keith Moon right there. Yeah, there's a lot going on, but it's classy. It's not overplayed.
Well, you might be the first to say that, but we'll take it, man.
Yeah, no, I say it's not overplayed. It might be overplayed, but I think it's perfect for this part. Getting into now the last chorus, which is a double chorus here. And I'm going to read it. Usually by the third chorus, I don't read all the lyrics again, but I think these need to be read again for the listeners. I'm coming in my pants, my shirt. It's my best suit, baby. Gonna pick your flower. Gonna be there in an hour. And on that line, gonna be there in an hour. There's like some vocal scatting, I'm calling it. That's kind of pan left. I couldn't really distinguish what was actually being said. Like there was just something going on over there.
I got to listen to it again. I think that was Java again, but KW Tut has always been known for this, I guess, singing gibberish on some of the tracks. You can hear him in there spelling out words that don't exist.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some gibberish going on there, but again, it adds to this. It's a party element. It almost feels like by the time I got to this point in the song and I've heard this, and like I said, it's kind of panned off to the left. I feel like I'm at a party and I'm watching this band, but there's people talking behind me. That's kind of what it made me feel like, and I think that really adds something to the track.
Oh man, it should feel like a party. That's the whole thing. We say this in our shows every night, but we kind of believe more is more with this band especially, and so. Yeah. If the party vibe's there, I mean, this band's all about people maybe forgetting maybe problems they're having at home or any bad stuff that's happening in the world. This should be a little off switch or maybe a little rest area for all the stuff each person's dealing with individually. Come here, have a good time, and be nice to everybody. But that's what we want. We want that party vibe. We want everybody feeling good. And I'm glad that you picked that up. We try to do that. We always do double choruses. Hopefully people are singing along.
Again, there's something real here. You guys are players. You got the show. And there's an underlying thing here that I take away is it's fun. It's just fun. You know, it's like you're at a party. This track just oozes that. And I loved going and I always do research seeing a band play live. I like to get that vibe too, but I loved watching the audience react to you because it was what I thought it was going to be, and it made me happy just to see people grooving. They were dancing so hard to you and singing every word.
Yeah, man, we love seeing new people in the audience. I mean, we've got people everywhere after 20 something years of touring around. We've got a really pretty good audience, but there's always new people there, and you can see their faces when they start listening to the lyrics and maybe getting distracted by the light show or whatever.
Right. Well, it continues on here after that vocal scatting. We're still in the last chorus, the first half of it. Coming in my pants, shine shoes, and my necktie, honey. I'm so excited. I hope that I don't. And then it says, I won't. Or I have a question mark there. I don't know if you says, I hope that I won't or I don't. I couldn't tell. You know, what's that lyric there?
Man, that is probably supposed to be I don't, but it could have been misspelled.
Which is cool. Which is actually cool. You don't get the come too soon. You don't get that there. But now that you're into the second half of the chorus that it's probably coming. No pun intended. And we get into the last half of chorus 3. I'm coming in my pants, my shirt. It's my best suit, baby. And on that line, it's my. On the word my, you hear the sinister growly vocal say, "Whoa, I'm gonna come in my pants." And when I heard that, I actually laughed out loud because it's so ridiculous. It was just, it made me smile. What can I say? I'm genuinely laughing. I'm smiling ear to ear. It's great.
Well, when we recorded these songs, especially in the early days, we would just let Java go. We just put the song, put it in record, and sometimes we'd give him 2 or 3 passes at it. And I think I've got about 6 hours of Java just saying whatever. He's kind of like, was that Mystery Theater 2000 with it's sort of like he's commenting on the lyrics as they go by. And I think I got 6 hours of him ad-libbing stuff.
Well, I love that part on the Bob and Tom show, though. They about pissed themselves when he said that. It killed me. Gonna pick your flower, gonna be there in an hour. Coming in my pants, shine shoes, and my necktie, honey. I'm so excited. I hope that I don't come too soon. And on the second half here of chorus 3, after the first time after you say, I'm so excited, the drums go to double time. And it's just building, you know, and the chorus is just rocking, but it's just adding this extra energy there. And the last line has the soon again. And then there's this, aw, damn. Yeah. Which almost makes me think, let me see if I can massage this a little bit. Almost makes me think like he arrived too soon. How's that?
Yeah, man. It's all, you know, timing is really important with dating. And yes, you want to build up to the most glorious evening you can have. And if you time it wrong, maybe somebody goes home disappointed.
Yes, and that sounds like, he might have been a little disappointed. Again, there's killer drum fills, and there's just this classic rock ending with the cymbals and the drums kind of ringing out. And the song ends, and I had to actually look this up, Mummy Cass. I didn't know the term for this. It ends with a glissando. And a glissando, a gliss for short, is when you take your hands on a piano and you go all the way down. And there's a gliss, and then there's a cymbal, snare, kick, drum hit, and then it just ends with the low piano D flat note, and the song is done, and it's awesome.
Well, man, I don't know I think if you kept the tape playing after that, you would have heard more of that stuff. We always had this kind of competition. It was all in fun to make the other guys laugh, but who could be the last note on each song? We still do it a little bit live. Like, who can hold their note out just a little longer or do one less hit? And I think Spaz wins most of these. I got to be honest with you.
It's those little things, and when you're in a band for as long as you've been in the band, they keep it interesting, huh?
Yeah, and again, this song was one of the earliest songs in the band too. So we were doing some of these kind of internal games with each other way back then.
Yeah, well, you got a new fan. This floored me. My producer Chris had brought you guys again. I had heard of you, but he brought it to my attention. So we should get them. Here Come the Mummies on, and I'm so glad that he suggested it. I have dove right in. I love it. I can't wait to see you guys live and hopefully play a show with you sometime. It'd be an honor. Can you leave our listeners with anything you have going on? I know that you're going to be playing a show soon. Where my producer Chris grew up in Bell Vernon, Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, man. We've got a lot coming up. We're probably going to be able to quite possibly make up for all the dates we missed because of COVID. Yeah, we're going to be all over. We're going to hit all the same places we've always hit. We've got a big Halloween, ready to go. And
and where's the best place for people if they want to find your tour dates? Best place to go look.
Yeah, online. go to our website at herecomethemummies.com.
Awesome.
But yeah, man, I'd love to do a show together, man. We're all over the place, especially Midwest. If you're torn, hit us up.
Right on. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. It was so great to talk to you. Thank you for making the time, and I wish you nothing but continued success. And like I said, you got a new fan. You guys are amazing.
All right, Chris and Chris, thank you, boys.
Take care.
All right, baby.
I let you freak, I let you freak, I let you freak flag fly. I let you freak, I let you freak, I let you freak flag fly. We're not here to judge ya, we're just here to love ya. I let you freak, I let you freak, I let you freak flag fly.
Hey everybody, hope you all enjoyed that Throwback Thursday episode with Mummy Cass. It's definitely a personal favorite of mine. And don't forget to go back through our catalog and check out any episodes you might have missed or maybe you want to listen to again. And if you enjoy Chris DeMakes a Podcast, don't be afraid to leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It definitely makes us feel good. Enjoy your day, and we'll be back on Monday with a new episode.
What's up, everybody? I am Finn McKenty, host of the Punk Rock NBA podcast, part of the Sound Talent Media Podcast Network. My podcast is all about doing what you love for a living, and every week I sit down and talk to people who have done exactly that. For example, musicians like Tommy from Between the Buried and Me, Matt from Periphery, Lil Lotus and Shinigami, among many others, photographers, artists, designers, YouTubers like Glenn Fricker and Sarah Dici, and I unpack exactly how they got to where they are today with the goal of helping you do the same. So if that sounds cool, you can listen and subscribe at soundtalentmedia.com, and I'll see you there.
Hey there, I am Johnny Christ from Avenged Sevenfold, and I've got a podcast called Drinks with Johnny you're going to want to check out. I sit down with a bunch of different people from all different walks of life, from professional wrestlers to actors, comedians, fighters, musicians, everything in between. I'm just looking to make some friends and have a good time doing it. So if that sounds like something you're into, go check out Drinks with Johnny, streaming everywhere now.